Thank you, Colette. We are the last generation with the power to prevent irreversible damage to our planet. We are rapidly approaching a tipping point of 1.5 degrees warming, after which our ice caps will melt, sea levels rise, ocean currents slow, and the frequency of extreme weather events such as hurricanes, heat waves, and droughts will increase dramatically. What we must do can be summed up in 3 simple words: stop burning stuff. Just 4 materials are responsible for 98% of our global CO2 emissions. The first 3, coal, oil, and gas, are obvious, but the 4th might come as a surprise: not wood or waste, but limestone for the production of Portland cement. Over 6 billion tons of it last year, enough to build 3 Great Walls of China or 1,000 Egyptian pyramids. For every ton of cement we produce through the heating, grinding, and milling of limestone, almost 1 ton of CO2 is released into our planet's atmosphere. 4.4 billion tons of it last year, equivalent to the emissions from every car in Europe, America, and China. Our current system of cement production, which relies on the take, make, and dispose linear economic model, is no longer sustainable. The construction industry is currently responsible for the consumption of 40% of virgin resources and production of 40% of global CO2 emissions and solid waste. We must move to a circular economic model of production, where the byproduct of one process becomes the input to another. Geopolymer is an inorganic polymer binder, or super cement, synthesized through the chemical activation of aluminosilicates, abundant minerals which make up 75% of our Earth's crust. Through the use of aluminosilica-rich byproduct and waste materials from foundation industries such as metal, glass, and ceramics, we can produce high-performance geopolymer binders, which are stronger, more durable, and more chemically resistant than conventional Portland cement, with up to 90% less CO2. 1 billion people live within 10 meters of current sea levels in cities such as New York, London, and Mumbai. Another 500 million in regions like California, Bangladesh, and the Arabian Peninsula, where aquifers have fallen to the lowest levels in human history. For their sake and ours, stop burning stuff. Thank you.
Who owns what and why does it matter? Innovation is key for achieving the shared vision of a circular economy. Intellectual property rights will inevitably follow all the creative and innovative steps that are needed to get us from where we are now to where we want to be, living, making, buying and selling in a circular economy. A circular economy aims to keep materials and products in use for as long as possible. To achieve a circular economy, redesign of consumption and production systems is needed. To achieve a circular economy, creative thinking is needed. To achieve a circular economy, collaboration is needed. Let's talk about the trust that must be at the heart of that collaboration. Long-term collaboration requires a framework to support the trust relationship between collaborating partners working to achieve the circular economy vision. To any innovator, I urge you to consider your intellectual property strategy. In my 30 years of working with co-founders, 50% of them argue about who owns what. This consumes time and drains huge amount of all that wonderful collaborative energy that they came into the room to me with in the first place. Intellectual property strategy must be a foundation stone of this collaborative framework for that trust relationship and creativity to be well-founded. So there are no surprises around that troublesome question of who owns what when it comes to the intellectual property. Let's have that who owns what conversation right up front. To conclude, I will listen to the issues that are important for you in your innovation steps towards the circular economy and help you to create your intellectual property strategy. Let's talk who owns what.
I think you all heard this term somewhere else. This is often used in environmental arguments about global warming, which is a reflection of human activities, particularly the industrial activities. As Gandhi said, an ounce of practice is worth more than a tons of preaching. Every organization needs to prioritize not only eco-efficient activities, but also set meaningful targets to reduce their emissions. Yes, we need to control our activities to keep the global temperature rise up to or below 2 degrees. Due to global temperature rise, the pre-industrial level CO2 emissions in the environment of 280 ppm has reached up to 420 ppm. And due to that temperature rise, we have lost 28 trillion tons of ice, which is equivalent to 100-meter thick sheet of ice covering the whole UK. So coming next on that part, we have to take an example how we can do this. So it's similar to getting a budget for development and all the regional bodies getting that budget from the government, and the government keep in mind that the regional bodies are growing and they have different needs, and without compromising the quality and effects on the environment, the bodies need to develop in their own boundaries. Similarly, science-based targets are required to be developed by all the industries to develop within their boundaries. And it is an initiative developed by Carbon Disclosure Project, United Nations Global Compact, World Resource Institute, and Worldwide Fund for Nature in 2015. This initiative have already supported more than 1,000 companies to set up their targets. Recently in 2021, they have developed the net zero standard, which provides frameworks and tools to companies to achieve their net zero emission targets. To conclude my speech, global warming is partially reversible if global net emissions are reduced significantly by utilizing initiatives like science-based target. Thank you very much.
Good evening. The power of changing your perspective. Sustainability is a trend, or it sums up because we use this word a lot in our conversations. Sustainability means meeting our own needs without compromising the future generation necessities. Sustainability targets the protection of natural resources, but also social equity and economic development. Sustainability lives through circular economy activities and ESG. Let me remind you, ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance. With ESG, we measure how our initiatives, our actions are creating better workplaces, better communities. It's important to live in sustainability, as important as to promote how success, whatever this word means to you, how success is reached and enhanced through sustainability. I am making this comment because I was reading an article and some sentences drew my attention. For example, this one: the intersection of digital technologies and sustainability holds tremendous value for enabling a more sustainable businesses. Okay, but what happens to those businesses that are not in this intersection? To those businesses or people that are not digital enough to be described like that? This affirmation means that these people, these businesses cannot evolve, cannot become more sustainable? Wow, that is not true. Why businesses that are committed to sustainability on a daily basis are not in the news headlines? Why we citizens are not aware of these changes, these best practices in sustainability? We have very good examples out there in the market. For instance, in US, Apple or Patagonia, or Circular Amsterdam. Yes, the whole city of Amsterdam in the Netherlands, or Positivo Tecnologia in Brazil. Criticize is not the purpose of this speech, but to point out our need, the need to change our perspective. Let me give you one example to explain this comment. Deserts. Yeah, deserts are found on every continent and cover about 1/5 of Earth's land. 1/5, that is a lot. But for many people, deserts are synonym of lack, waste, desolation. But what will happen if a type of silicon material sourced by the sun could be used in some technology? Yeah, you're right. Be sure. Desert will be taken as great economic areas of interest for governments and companies. It's all about changing our perspective. It's about us making use of the situation rather than the situation making use of us. This is an extra powerful today that has that vibe of enough is enough vibration that can be turned into motivation. Depends on us. Let me remind you, this is not a competition among us. We will find the right solutions working together without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. And that is our call of action. This is the moment to roll up the sleeves and take care of this matter working with what we have available. And that is an amazing opportunity because we are a technology. And that means that everything is within our reach. Yes, it's a very creative age that goes along with brain and with creativity, but together as one force. We have a system solution framework that targets sustainability. It is called circular economy. And we also have some metrics. They are called ESG. Those that matter the most, maybe. Those metrics that are called ESG are used to know if we are heading towards sustainability. This is Miriam Asunción, circular economy designer. And this is my proposal for you today, our action. The action starts changing our perspective. Thank you.
Okay, so I have been paying attention to this session before this session started. What I noted was that actually the preparation for this session happened long before, it seems to me, the first session happened. So I'm just really impressed by the amount of preparation that was put into this right from the start. The fact that my first conversation about this session started before any of your sessions started, that's just so cool. The other thing that I would like to note is that all of the communications that I've seen both before today and during today have been so personal. It's been so connected with each individual person and, you know, what's important to you, what's going on for you. It's just, it's a really powerful example of really caring for the people within a community. So I feel this is my example. Next time I'm talking about what a community is like, this is what I talk about. Amazing job. So Shirley, you had me hooked from the start, and today has just been brilliant. Kavita has done an excellent job of managing quite a complex agenda and making it seem like it's just so seamless. Well, we're just going to do this next thing. It's like there are so many moving parts. It's amazing that you've done all of that. And I have felt very welcomed as a guest, as I'm sure everyone did as you spoke. Brilliant job by the MCs, again, taking care of each of your groups. And Dory, Dory, yes, taking care of the timing. Yeah, fantastic. Again, another outstanding piece of work taking care of all of this. I do think it's appropriate just to quickly say congratulations to the guides. I can't say thanks to all 39 people because I don't know who they all are, but Johannes, Marilyn, Donna, Larry, Moira, Ram, Barry, Dinesh, Ron, Shanine, Emmanuel, Anetta, Sultan, you have taken amazing care of your speech crafters. Fantastic. Just a very brief word about Lisa Marie's evaluation, very highly skilled evaluation. I always try and come up with a tip. It was a bit tricky. My only suggestion was maybe vary the tone, but I have to say I was grasping at straws because the strength of the voice, the enthusiasm and the authority all wrapped up together, and the the quality of the evaluation was really excellent. The points about purpose, absolutely fabulous. So overall, a joy to evaluate. So I have to say to you that I do love Speechcraft. I love this space where people are growing their skills, they're seeing each other, that in such a short period of time, it is so easy to see how this program can help people grow. I love running Speechcraft sessions. Just like tonight, it really did teach me to evaluate at speed. 39 people helped with this, just fantastic. So amazing. Thank you to all the Toastmasters for sharing your skills. There's a huge joy in sharing, in giving back to those, so to kind of pay it forward in thanks for what we have been given. And so much learning too. I definitely know more about sustainability as a result of today. How much more I would know if I'd actually been involved in the 6 weeks. I'd just be an expert. Anyway, what's special about this Speechcraft is this common purpose, this common passion, an international group just coming together to go deep into a topic and find voices, find ways of making the argument to persuade in a world that still needs persuading, unfortunately. I'm inspired by your passion and your purpose. Toastmasters has a purpose too. Our purpose is to make effective communication a worldwide reality. When we speak, when we listen, when we think critically to evaluate, we are not just, we're not just taking things on face value. We are listening to arguments, we are creating arguments. There is here an intertwining of Toastmasters' purpose and an environmental sustainability purpose. Listening is like an art. We're not just listening to others' words, but we're listening to oceans and trees and weather and whales and birds and butterflies and ground and the air we breathe in and that we breathe out. What we hear, what we listen to is what we care about. What we care about is what we speak about. What we speak about is what we advocate. What we advocate is what we are able to change. And this is the spirit that I see here today. So when you listen to each other, can you hear how each other has grown? This growth that can not just do good for us, but do good for the world, for all of us, the human and the more than human world. Something else that I love about Speechcraft, so many Speechcrafters get to the end and they want more. They run new Speechcrafts, they create new Toastmasters Club, they help each other grow more skills so that they can continue to have an impact on the world, not just on the thing that they're passionate about, in this case, sustainability, but in developing that voice to grow more people who are passionate and who can speak about all of this. This Speechcraft maybe begets further Speechcrafts. The community grows. Today, as you come to the end of this, there's huge potential for new beginnings. Hearing more, speaking out for those whose voices are not so clearly heard, making change happen. I hope, I know you'll keep going in sustainability and in Toastmasters too, I hope, and that I hear stories of the beginnings that emerge from today. Madam Toastmaster.